Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. If you are interested in a legal topic that we're not talking about today, you can always go to talklawradio.com and search for our archived episodes. I talk about estate planning, business law, gun law, talk a lot about constitutional law, because I'm interested in helping us all to remember that we have constitutional rights, and I want to help us maintain our freedom and liberty.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're talking about real estate today with Kasey Chenault. She's a realtor here in San Antonio, and her website is KaseyLaneHomeGroup.com. That's KASEY LAYNE homegroup.com. If you're interested in buying or selling a home, yes, you can contact her through her website. Absolutely. And so we've been talking about the National Association of Realtors lawsuit and settlement and the value of having a realtor if you're a buyer. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on around the city.
So right now is more of what we call a buyer's market. So what that means is there is a lot of inventory and little buyers. So what that means is the sellers, since there's quite a few homes on the market, like as of May stats, there was over 13,000 active listings.
Okay.
Between June 1st and today, there's 3,500 homes that went active since June 1st. So those stats could even be more than the 13,000 plus homes that are currently on the market. Well, right now with the interest rates, people are a little timid to go and purchase a home. So what we consider a buyer's market is a lot of inventory, little buyers. So a lot of the sellers are trying to do everything they can to market to those buyers, and which is a good thing for the buyers, and that's why we call it a buyer's market, is because it's in their hands. A lot of the buyers are saying, okay, you really want your home sold. Well, I really want this price or this,
you can negotiate a better deal.
Absolutely, a better deal. So that's why we call it the buyer's market, is because it's in their hands at this point.
So what's your experience right now or this summer or even just this year about what are the reasons people are buying? What do they tell you? Why
they are buying?
Yeah.
Well, right now, because the market is, the buyer's market, a lot of these homes, especially the new builds, new developments, they're saying, come in, we'll pay for the closing costs. We'll give you $20,000 incentives towards, appliances and upgrades and all, the bells and whistles for what you would have paid for, something else. So
where those developers are located around the city?
So realtors and developers really kind of work hand in hand. We need them, they need us. So, our buyers want to see a new build. Well, the new developments and the sales managers over at the new development will be like, hey, we've got the perfect house for you. So come check us out. So we need them equally as they need us. Yeah. And so we really work hand in hand. And a lot of the times we have a lot of them either a Facebook message away or a text away saying, hey, I've got this buyer. They're looking for this. What do you have? And if they say, hey, we've got this, but it's going to be at this, community instead of this community, cool, we'll go look.
Do you meet some people that are moving to San Antonio from somewhere else?
Absolutely. I just had one last month moving from Oregon, moving away from the Pacific Northwest.
That's your favorite, I'm sure.
Well, I was like, I know where that's at, but they're moving down here to be closer to their son, who is stationed at Lackland.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that, the son is going to be here for quite a few years before PCSing. And so she wanted to be closer to her son. And so I helped her from the transition from Oregon to Texas.
I meet a lot of clients that have already moved here from other states
Yes.
to be with their adult children.
Absolutely.
My mom even did that years
Yeah.
ago. She moved from New Mexico because she wanted to see her grandchildren grow up.
Well, my mom, she's, my mom's family and my mom are still up in Seattle. And so we moved her down here as a winter Texan for what it was going to be for the 5 months out of the year, but it's kind of turned into like 9 months out of the year. So now it's, right now she's up in Seattle, but she'll be coming down here next week for another month. And
She
so,
really enjoyed that.
yeah, she does. And, her and my son are, super close. And so it's fun to see, him being able to grow up with his grandma right there too, even though she is kind of back and forth. It's nice to see. Because, I grew up with my mom's parents. And as I would come down here every summer, I'd see, my dad's side of the family. But
I love that.
It's really great to have that balance back and forth.
Well, start thinking about an older person that had influence on you in your life. I'll ask you about it in a few minutes.
Sure.
While you're thinking about that, I wanted to bring up something I read from KSAT in the news.
Yeah.
Said that the U.S. Census Bureau said that San Antonio was one of the fastest growing cities.
Yes.
But I went to the Census Bureau website and I saw that there were actually two stats. One was top 15 largest gaining cities,
Right.
gaining in population.
Yes.
And the other one was top 15 fastest growing cities. And I think this is where KSAT got it wrong. I hate to throw them under the bus and point that out, but the top fastest growing city was Salina, Texas. But San Antonio, Texas is the top largest gaining city.
Yes.
And it says that San Antonio, Texas added more people, about 21,970, than any other city in 2023.
Yep.
So that's a lot of people moving here.
So what a lot of people are doing is they are moving from different, states to what we call kind of like the Metroplex. You're looking at Austin, New Braunfels, San Antonio. So they're really kind of, of course, San Marcos is in there as well.
Yeah.
But what they're really doing is flocking to these areas. And really what's attracted them is, for one, the cost of living. For two, a lot of tech companies are coming down here now. They're seeing the value in Texas, and primarily a lot of them are moving to Austin. We're getting more of like the aerospace government contracts here in San Antonio, and of course military, because we are military USA. So we always have a fluctuation of military coming and going with PCS season, with trainings, with the different training annexes here.
I've met a lot of older veterans
Yes.
that moved here after they retired
Yes.
from living somewhere else because they trained here.
Yes, they trained here. So the Air Force trains here at Lackland. So this is where their big, basic training happens. But, they have a lot of AIT schools and tech schools here in San Antonio for the military, and as well as doing different trainings, as far as Camp Bullis, Camp Stanley, and then of course, if you're Army, what was Fort Hood, I forget the name, that Cavazos, I think now, but is not too far away. So
in Killeen.
Yeah, so they're able to kind of do everything here. But a lot of people, after they retire, come here because we also have a lot of those VA systems. We have, the Audie Murphys, we have the BAMCs, we have all these VA clinics and VA hospitals here in San Antonio. So a lot of military decide to stay here. But with the Metroplex, a lot of people are moving because it's so easy to transport basically between San Antonio and Austin that, now it's kind of, they're trying to make it one big kind of what we call the Metroplex kind of thing. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are moving here for that.
So we've been talking mostly about buyers. What are some reasons that you're hearing people are selling?
So a lot of people are selling basically for relocation or downsizing, or in a lot of cases, upsizing. Families are getting bigger. I had one seller who went from just her and her daughter to a family of 6. And so,
Okay.
Her once house was great for them at that point, but they needed to be able to spread their wings a little bit more.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is downsizing, upsizing, but primarily a lot of it is relocation. Even within our own city, though, because traffic is, as we all know, especially in San Antonio, if you live on one side and work on another, you're looking at an hour and a half commute sometimes, and people just kind of get sick of it, spending their life behind a wheel.
I tell people that if you drive on I-10, 35, 1604, or 410, you have to have a will.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
It's dangerous.
I came from back from New Braunfels 2 days ago, I think it was, and it took me an hour and a half just to get home from New Braunfels. And I'm like, well, it's to be expected. It was at 5:30. I don't know why I was expecting, all roads to part like the sea, but, I was wishing for it, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, but even having the heavy traffic, that's not as bad as having to see an accident.
Oh, no, it's
by.
awful. It's awful. I'm blessed that I haven't seen any horrific accidents happen in front of me, and I'm thanking my lucky stars for that one, because it's just, I don't want to
Amen.
see that.
Well, we got to take another break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.